I hit the wrong button. Hi, everyone. So let's get started. If you joined me on Saturday, I created the album that you can use if you're going to not use the binder. Okay, how this is going to work. I'm not going to be matting my binder per se, because I'm going to be doing that with the Flower Emporium by Vicki Boutin. And so I don't need to make another album when I'll just cross-reference with you, but the size you'll notice is a little bit bigger. Pages though are the same size. I did the pages bigger. I mean the pages small, same size, but the album cover bigger than this one, just by an inch all the way around, because we need a little more room with so much bulk in here. But our pages are the same, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to cross-reference on the albums. Whoops. I just got to move some screens here. Okay. And I will be cross-referencing so that I don't have to make 2 more albums, and that would give me 4. So what I'll do is kind of a cross-reference here to there, and with the papers, they're identical. But if you aren't doing the album, this one, that will help you guys. There we go. Okay, so I can move him so I can have this album here. I grabbed the it's the green binder from Toddler Time. I think I got it right that time. And if you notice, this is the Toddler Time, and it's the coral one, and you really don't see a lot. And I think the green's going to be fine because there's a little bit of green here per se. So I think we'll be just fine. I'm just trying to get my water out of the way because we don't want any disasters. Okay, I posted the photo mat sizes over on Scrapbookers of Country Craft Creations. And I did not post them in here, so let me grab those real quick. These are just your white photo mats. And the whole thing with the photo mats is they're placeholders for your video. Placeholders. I know that some may just want to use your photos. These are the photo size that I put there. So let me just get these. It's the white smooth 65 pound. And I'm going to paste it down here in the comments. And I did have you cut 20. You're going to have some extras 3x4s. So there's 20 3x4s. I need to see something. And you know what I did? I wasn't thinking. So we're going to cut the matting. Usually these are 3 3/4. But I'm going to change. That's okay. Our matting sizes of the pattern paper, or we can cut those down. But I did have you cut a few extra because you know what? You get 12 or no, 12. Yeah, you get 12. You get 20 from 2 sheets. So I thought, you know, we might as well just cut them, and that way you'll have them. Then you want 10 of the 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. And I am just laying them out to the right of me. And then I have it's hard to see. It kind of grabbed my numbers together. It's not 73 3. It's 7 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. 1 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. So I'm going to delete that. It might be confusing for some reason when you put them all together there, it does that. I'm going to remove those sizes because it looks like they're supposed to be 73 and a bunch of other sizes that aren't there. So I did remove that from the comments. Okay. You just remove it from here. I'm going to delete that comment and it should be gone. Okay, Monica, also, I did not forget about you. And I'm going to get you all taken care of this evening after. Because her order, Tanya, we need to help her with that. Okay, so what we're going to do is get started with the album. Now, I did not go ahead. I usually go ahead. Let's just take everything out. But I do usually go ahead and put down on these 49 and Market albums. I put down the ring, but you can do it after also. This one, of course, the album was this peachy color, so that's what went there. Now, I wasn't sure yet about the green, but I think it is going to be okay. But I decided I want to, excuse me, I wanted, Mondays are a booger in the warehouse. I wanted to wait and see and make sure I'm okay with all the colors. Where this is a little bit different. These do help protect if there's any, well, it just gives an extra layer of protection, but they're not 100% necessary. And I think the green's going to be okay because you're going to like the ribbon I used. I'm going to I went back to the warehouse because we have in all this new crinkle ribbons. And look at this one. It's kind of that greenish gold. So that's going to look, sometimes it looks a greenish, sometimes it looks a goldish. So I love it. Now, a lot of our One Perfect Day does show sold out. But I don't want you to worry. There's a whole new shipment on its way. And it should be here before Friday. Okay, I'm going to just separate. I want to take these guys out. Like I said, we're going to be redoing those from what I did in the album. Then we have 2 pockets. So I'm just going to set those aside. And then we have a ton of our dividers. Hi, Cheryl. 6, 7, 8 dividers. And I've already put my plastic sleeves, which we have 4 plastic sleeves in 49 and Market albums. So I put those to the side. I do want to ink these pages because to me, this one just, well, you don't have to, but it just gives it more of that antique look. So that's why this takes us a little bit longer. And I'm using the cashmere. We have more of the Catherine Pruller coming in also. So, and I have used up this ink pad, let me tell you. So I do need my re-inker, and I should have had this already, right? So I apologize. I've been working all day. I was working on, well, I had to work, but then I had to get the Vicki Boutin album started. Okay. So if you're just joining us, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be referring back and forth from the Ring album binder to the album that we've been creating. But you're going to basically do everything the same, even though I'll be working on the Ring binder. If there's any differences, I will point that out. So on your first page will be different. For the matting, you're going to want to round those corners. If you have already made your album, make sure you round the corners. And because these are 6, you do want to trim your paper 1/8 of an inch just on the width. I'll show you. And then I'll show you the insides. Okay, so we're going to take this first cover sheet and we're going to use the back side. Okay, and it's just going to lay down on my first binder. My first piece here. And if you are going to add the rings and you haven't already done it, just go ahead and push them over. Hi. Oh, thank you, Danelle. Just push it over. And then I can still add them because, like I said, they're green, so I'm not too sure. So if you are using the album we created, I want you to round your corners if you need to and cut 1/8 of an inch off to make it fit, okay? Now, I don't have to with this because I have this extra 1/2 inch with my holes. See how perfect this cashmere is with this collection? And it is the cover. You know what? It's allergies and they're starting up. It's the cat. So excuse me. I don't mean to cough and hack. That's so rude. It's the cover sheet. And then just remember to stay 1/8 of an inch from this edge. And then that will be on our rings. And I will also be able to add and the nice thing, these are kind of a grayish green. So see, I think, oh yeah. Okay, let me put this down real quick so you can see. I'm just going to do one. Hi, Terry. If you do get the green album, we have both colors. You're really not going to see a lot of it, but these will. Okay, they will match. So I'm happy there. So I will put all these down off camera because, as you know from creating these, they do take a little bit. They're not too bad. So I'm going to flip this over. And I started a little bit early because I knew we needed more time so that we can get our album done. Pretty much, I'm hoping this week. If you are doing the back, I'll show you which paper you're going to use. You're going to use the paper that I'm pulling out next for the inside of your flap. So you'll want that for the inside of your flap. I will have a couple of changes that you will notice that we don't use on one album but do the other. And it has to do with our paper. So this one has kind of that mauve background. Flowers on top and bottom. Then you have a brick wall. Again, round your corners and cut it off 1/8 of an inch for your handmade album. For the ring binder, we don't cut. Okay, as we're going along, I just put this back into the album. So it's in the order. Okay, our next one. This one is such a beautiful paper. I love it. You have the caramely color on one side, and you're going to have it for both the handmade album. So you have for your handmade album, you have a pocket, remember, that we created that's just a tuck pocket. Hi, Kim. So you will cut it just like I'm going to show you. You're going to mat the top, then you'll put your bottom down excuse me, by gluing 3 sides, and then you're going to put the other piece on top. So when we cut this, it should be, oh, you know what? We cut this at 4.5. And the problem there is I was going to score the bottom. You still could score the bottom if you wanted to have a little more. It's a tuck pocket, so it's not gusseted, but you can do the gusset on the bottom. Otherwise, I need you to cut this off to 6 1/4. Or actually 6 1/2. And then you're going to see how well your paper fits. Okay, so that's for your handmade album. It will be underneath the flap. For our ring binder, you want a pocket page. We will glue this down in just a moment, but we want to go ahead and take our 6 by 8 and we want to cut this in half at 4 inches. The bottom, I'm using the piece with the wording. I mean, there's wording here, but I'm going to turn this over and it's going to go on the inside of the pocket. And this doesn't fit way far down. I got a little messy there because, oh, it's flying everywhere. Because I just inked. So you'll notice when you put this down, it just comes barely inside, and we are going to glue this down because I found it just lays nicer when you glue it down, put it in your rings. And it doesn't matter which one we do first, but I'll do the bottom. It always feels like I'm working a little off center because I have such a big amount left on the left-hand side, but you just want to leave it. Otherwise, it does get kind of torn up while you're turning your book, and it looks great just this way once you get it on the rings. So my whole method is I like to go through and mat, do our, I call this straight matting, just our straight matting. And then we go back once we have that all done and we do the decorating part. Because I don't like to decorate, mat, decorate, mat, decorate. I like to just mat, move on. Because once we get out all those embellishments, you'll see why. You really need just embellishments or matting because you get everything so mixed up. So now underneath here, I'm just going to add adhesive and close that up. Hi, Nikki. How are you? Well, I'm not doing a kit, but we're going to do a project for the ring binder, yes. Okay, when we turn over. Okay, here's our back side. This is where we kind of have a change, so I need to show you. Handmade album. We don't have a back side because when we have a flap, we turn the page. And so I did change things up. Let me show you. This page here that I'm going to show you is going to go, well, we're not even going to use, you're not going to use this. You're not going to use this in your album. What I did is I used it on here. I mean, I used a different paper on here because this album took more paper. Okay. So that's where if you do your handmade binder, you really need the coordinating solids with it, or the 12 by 12 pack. You really do need it. So right now you don't have to do this part. We're looking for, you have two similar, one that has a brocade in the center and one that, there you go, that has the polka dots. Now we want the polka dots, and then I have stitching up here at the top. And then you have polka dots on the back. That's how you know that's the correct one. Now just put that in my book. And our next one, this is where we're going to go back to using the same. So you'll put yours on your flap here. Let me show you. See the one on the back? I'll show you the two sheets. The one I'm going to put on my ring binder is going to be the lacy here. And then on the inside, you'll do the same, and I'll use this. This is where it'll be different. So I'll come back to this with you guys later during our decorating phase. Okay. So I want you to pull out this one with the brocade down the center. It looks very similar to what we just used, but we're going to use the back side for her wedding dress. I keep losing my cloth. And then we also want, I call this the wedding veil one. So those two papers. Remember, you'll need to go ahead and round your corners and take 1/8 of an inch off for your book. For the binder, you don't have to do nothing. Now for our binder, we just want, now also you can go back and put your tabs on that come in the kit if you want, and then you could put bride's room or groom's room. I didn't put any tabs on. I didn't want to, it just didn't feel like it needed to be on there, but you might like them, and so you might want to add them. Okay, so with the veiling, it will go first. Has the brick on the back. Yeah, remember inside under the flap if you're doing the other book. Guess what tomorrow is, everybody? Does anybody know what tomorrow is? It's International Beagle Day. How could you guys not know that? Right? Turn the page. And we will come back to our sleeves, okay? So we just move on. Now, here's where we've got a big change here. Of course, we've already changed where we're going to put this, but if you have your homemade book, this is the same one that we just used for, where did we put that one? Well, we put it in our ring binder. Okay, let me show you. We put it on the pocket, on the back of the pocket. If you notice one thing, I have this one at the top, and I put the stitching. There's some stitching right there. So I put the flowers at the bottom on this one. So this is where I used this on this flap, because we don't have the pocket pages, the clear pocket pages, and this is where the bride and the groomsmen is going. So let me show you what I put here. I put this one. This is the kind of a greenish. It's more of the lighter green from the what's it called? Coordinating solids. But this is only 5.5. So you will need to cut the side down to 5 3/8. Then the green 5 3/8 by the 7 7/8. Oh yeah, you have to cut your length by 1/8 of an inch. Then I used the other lacy piece on the inside. Okay, so that's what is on your flap. We already took this off. It's too thick. We put it on the inside and back cover. You still have time, if you like it there, you still can add those and put them together. But I think you might not like it so much. I was thinking of cutting it off, but I don't want to do that either. Okay. Let's put this over here. So now, goodness, the one I'm looking for, it has the background stripe. It looks like I call that the parlor room. You know how it looks like the parlor room wallpaper in the old homes. I just love it. And then on the back, we're going to use that polka dot again. Floral at the top. It's just so pretty with that. And you just want one of your flats ones here. And let's see. So this is the one with the polka dots. It has the brocade in the back. So it's not like the other one we used, but it does have the polka dots. So you have the polka dots, floral top and bottom. That will go on the back. And then we want that striped one, which is upside down for some reason. So it's at the back. That goes on first. I know it really doesn't mean anything. The poor dogs, they'll be like, we have no idea what you're talking about. But apparently it's hashtagging everywhere, let me tell you. Well, beagles, you know, have become popular. We didn't really have beagles out here in the West. And they're becoming more and more popular out here. My husband grew up with them in the East Coast, but they were for hunting, so they didn't like come in the house. I'm sorry. I could not handle that. Making sure it's not upside down. I put one of my Vicky Bouton papers upside down today. And it was a very prominent one. So when I show you the walkthrough, you'll be like, you'll notice it, but it's okay. Because I'll make another one. Oh, that's the perfect dog for a kid, Monica, because they do. I've never known one that doesn't love children. But I guess you could get a big old just like any person. Maybe they're not so good natured, but I've never seen one that wasn't. In fact, they're like your child that was too friendly, would talk to all the strangers. That's a beagle. That's okay. Take me home. If you rub my neck, they tell my neighbors, take me home. Okay, let's put that in our book. Our next one is, we won't have that in your other book. We'll come back to that. So I decorated, see the same. We're going to do the outside here. I did show you the inside. This will be your, this is actually, and I would wait to go in and do those flaps if you're using this album. I would wait and see. I don't remember having any of this left. I think I did though, and that's why I used that one. So, but I would wait. These are really easy to go back and just trim down 1/8 of an inch length and width, and that will go there after you round your corners. For the grooms, we're going to use the green stripe. Then in the book, you're going to use the brick. And that came from your 6x8 pad. You just want the solid brick. We want this one for the outside of the flap. That one's easy to find. And then you will want the brick. And we did use the same. Yes. I'm going to put this on the back of my flap, but you'll put it underneath your groom's flap. That way our bride and groom, when you do the photos in their room, won't that be so sweet to have him and his dad and then mom and the bride? I love it. Yep, I did too, Deb. I left it because I'm like, I ain't tearing it out. There is no way. There's just no way. A green stripe, which if you look at long enough, you'll go blind. I have these all in order. Okay, there's that brick for inside of your handmade book. It is the back side of the veil. Okay. That is not the one. Okay, these are very deceiving. We've got a couple that look almost the same. Okay, these two are the two that look almost the same. One has prominent flowers, so up here on the right. One has lace on the back, one has green. We want the green. And we want a divider. This will go on the front. Yes, Cottage Core had a bunch of those papers with the jagged stripes and things, and it was really hard to tell if you had the correct one or not. But I was just looking at that album today, and I was like, that turned out really cute. I really liked that album. Okay. So, holes to the left. Well, I don't know about you, but I look at this long and my eyes start going funny. Yeah, and there's no name. So we have no name to the paper to tell you what to use. So that's the other thing. Okay, I have the shadowy flowers at the top. Okay, put that one away. Okay, here's where I had put, okay, here's where I put this and had put this together. And I'm going to come back to this for this book because I do want to put it together. And thing is, I do like it here with the bride and groom, but it is really too thick. And if you, I'm going to make it for you. And we're going to, I will put it together so I can show you how, where I scored it. But I think I'm going to leave it for remaking this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it, we have the bride here and then the groom. I think I'm going to put the mother of the bride, father of the bride here. I won't be putting them together like I did here, but I'll still show you for you guys that want to. And then here I'll do the groom's family. But like I said, right now it's just too thick. So I'll push that over. It's way too thick. Okay. So for our next divider here, we'll have the ceremony in the church, but in our handmade album, and this is why I made bigger gussets, we're going to put the same paper here. Okay. And we're going to, then the paper that I'm going to put on the back, you're going to put across on the flap that went to the top. So you're going to repeat here. You're going to cut a 1/8 of an inch length and width here. Make sure, just measure, because you're going to have to take off a little more than 1/8 of an inch. So measure your flap. Then the inside of your book, you have the bricks in the middle, and your flowers are at the top and the bottom. This, the coordinating solids, and it's the peachy or kind of mauve color. So I changed this out from my piano. Oops. This is going to be the back side. And I don't, and this is recorded. So what you can do is you can go back if you've done the album version, and you can stop and then look, because there is no names for me to tell you to write down. And I'm so sorry about that. But it has that stitching. It should be your last piece. And it has the polka dots on the back. And then the top. Now remember, you are going to need your 12 by 12 also. You're going to need some 12 by 12 sheets. Yeah, that's the same. So the top of my flap, polka dots in the middle. So I use the back side. So for our flaps, we want that same piece, whoops, with the flowers here. You kind of have an emblem under the floral, and you have some stitching at the bottom. And then the back, we're going to use that same with the brick in the middle of the floral. Brick in the middle, and it has the mauve on the back. Debbie, don't you just love those adhesive strips that are fabric? I'm excited too to see what I use more, but I'm using them because they're wonderful. Okay, this one will go first. And when I put this on, you're going to look at it and say, oh, it's upside down. And I had it upside down. So turn it around. There we go. This emblem should be at the top. Good thing I looked over at the camera screen because it was upside down. Yeah, that fabric tape can be used for so much. I still have my big rolls of her when she used to put it on rolls. But I love it this way because you know what? It makes it easier for shipping. It makes it easier for storing. I just prefer the way they've done it, because you really can't use everything that's on the roll. So it also helped bring the price down. So I appreciate them doing that. Now remember, your album's going to take a little longer to mat than what I'm doing here. So video will be recorded. And in the beginning, I did show, I will go back and put my hole protectors because the green is going to look good. Even though I'm putting these in the book, they're not in the order they're going to go, but Oh, shoot. I caught my frame. Hold on. Let me add a little bit of glue here. I caught it on my book. Oops. You got to be careful when that's the problem when you leave them open. Okay, we are going to have another change here. Here, we'll come back to our plastic sleeve, but you just did the church. I showed you the inside and the flap. Now on the back, you just want the solid. I did use this. I can't remember what the number is, but you'll notice it's the tannish colored one, 5 7/8 by 7 7/8. We don't use this till later in the book. I had to decide here. I had to leave one page out of our album. You could always add it to the back, but I did have to leave it out of the handmade because we just, unless I made a 4-inch spine, we wouldn't have had the room. And that's a big spine, trust me. My December dailies aren't even 4-inch spines. Okay, but that's what you're going to put on the back of your church. Now, this will be also, this was the one right here I chose to leave out. So you might want to put that on your back cover. You certainly could. And so I did leave that off of the handmade book. But now we're going to add this to our ring book. Now, I hope this is understandable, that you guys aren't getting confused. If you are, please let me know, because I don't want you to be confused at all. Now this one just will not be, remember, this one is not in your handmade album. And it is going to be, again, we have two very similar pieces. And it's this one that doesn't have all the floral. This is the one you want. It's going to go on the front. And then the one on the back is that polka dot, the green polka dot. And it has all that floral on the front, but we want the back for the reception. The back is the solid green. And it doesn't matter which album you make, you do need those coordinating solids or something that will coordinate, even if you've chosen a different color. I know we went through the colors last week or Saturday. So if you have a different color, let me see, make sure I get this the right, yep. The lettering. I always try to make sure the lettering. The Monica, the fabric strips, they're like your washi tape, but they're fabric. They're not translucent. And Monica, I think you got, let's see, let's ask Debbie. Debbie, were the fabric strips in the bundle? I can't remember. I've had so many papers come in, my brain is like mush. Let's see. Yes, the fabric strips are in your collection bundle. And they're fabric. Yep, they're in here. I can't wait. You guys, I've dug myself this hole and you have to help me get out because I've got so many projects, but that's okay. We're just going to do a lot of tutorials, but I can't stop. The stuff coming in has been so fun to play with. And then right now I have this obsession. I'm loving these ring binders, and ask Tanya. I was never going to touch a ring binder. I didn't like them. I didn't feel that they were artistic, or man, am I just loving them. I'm loving turning them into something that I feel is more. It's what I really like. So yes, I'm created a monster in myself. I have lots of projects to do with you guys. You're going to be seeing a lot of me, okay? So, but you don't have to if you don't want to. Next is our last pocket. Now, you don't have a pocket, okay? So, this is totally skipped out. Again, we just didn't have room. And, but you won't be missed. Again, this is one of those things you could make a pocket on the back cover. You could very easily, if you wanted to remove this, make your pocket and have that on the back cover. But we are going to want our pocket, and then on the back, we're going to use that striped again that we use for the bride. That will be my back, and the front will be the veil. And the brick. So we're going to start with our veil piece and put it in our cutter at 4. We're just going to cut that in half. Brick at the bottom, and then I'll put the lace and veil at the top. The lace and the veil kind of had two purposes. The bride, of course, but it reminded me too of the backdrop, maybe at the reception. So that's why I use that. Okay, so I'll put the veiling at the top. And then for you joining us tonight, just to let you know, we had our sale. So thank you for being patient as Michelle and Morgan are getting orders out. And then we did run out of some of the cardstock, our artisan cardstock, but we have more on the way. No worries there, but it will take just a little bit. They told me they will start cutting it towards the end of this week, and then it'll be shipped out next week. So we'll have more white. Okay, let's go ahead and glue. I prefer to glue it shut. You don't have to. Things will stay, but I just feel it is just more finished with it closed. Aren't we enablers? Yes, we are all. Yeah, we owe Monica what's sold out right now. I'm not sure how much we'll get in. on the what's it called? Rest and ribs. We will have to check that inventory. At our supplier's warehouse. Okay, let me show you. See, these two are going to be the same. Just a little bit different places in our book, of course. Thank you, Debbie. So we want what our next divider, we're going to use the back side of the back side for there. And this you don't have in your handmade album. Okay, that was one that I mean, it'll be cute looking up the window on their honeymoon, but I thought, well, if I have to leave one off, it was hard. I believe this is your last, should be last piece of that, maybe. Yeah. So we want these two. Back side is the stripe. And there goes Charlotte. Sorry. It's so hard to catch when these little guys do that. I'm so sorry, you guys. So that's my front. My word, I don't know what she's barking at. But you know those little comics and memes and stuff on Facebook when they post about a beagle and I bark at absolutely nothing. Well, they're 100% true. Sometimes I don't know what she's barking at. I don't think she does either. Well, you're very kind, Monica. I cringe. I just don't know what to do about them. I did have, it's been a while. Wilbur used to be really naughty during my life. So my granddaughter used to have to come and babysit, and that's how Lexi kind of started working for me in junior high. She'd have to come watch babysit Wilbur so he wouldn't start howling during the videos. He would just howl. And even today, some people will message me and say, can you remember what video you did? And I'm like, on a project. I'm like, no. She's, you know, the one where the beagle is howling? I'm like, that's every video. I don't know which one, but I did have a lady once tell me to shut my dogs up. So I'm like, oh, I just cringe when they do that. So I do apologize, but I should have a warning label. It comes with the territory. Because if you shut a beagle up in a room, it gets worse. It gets worse. Oh, you have no idea. People will say things behind a camera that they wouldn't I mean, behind a computer screen, they wouldn't. Of course, I agree. I'm doing a service for you guys. I want to be polite and not have them barking, but like I said, it comes with the territory. Well, it does shock me when they go off. I'm not expecting it because they're actually asleep, and then all of a sudden that happens. And I guess that's kind of what it just shocks me. And I'm like, ooh, they were asleep. You know what's funny? When we take Wilbur, when we take him to the store, they just love everybody that comes in, and they never howl or bark. It's so crazy. Okay, let's see where we're at next. We're on our last divider. We'll come back to this in just a second. Our last divider and our last page of the mini album are the same. Isn't that so pretty? I just love it. So we will grab that paper, and then the back. Let me show you. The back is where I had to go different. And I'll tell you why. Because I wanted this page, the lovely day. And in this book, the lovely day is up where she is. Where the bride. Okay, I mean, it's right here before the honeymoon. Where these two, I put this for after the reception. Here's our reception, dance, place for cards. Then we have a lovely day. So you will put this sheet. We've already put this sheet down in our book. So what we're going to do now is you're going to put that sheet here in your handmade book on the back of the last page. And we're going to put this beautiful one on the back. I still have to finish that. Okay, so that's our last divider. And for my divider and for the book, you want the one with the roses up here. For our divider, we want the newsprint, and it'll be our last one. Nope, not that one. This one. This one. This came from our 12 by 12. You'll need the 12 by 12 to cover our album. And then for the album, you want the stripe, the same one that was used for the bride's room. This one, but we don't use that on our binder. Oh, I just dropped our pages. So this will go on the front. This one first. Don't forget, you'll have to trim yours to 5 7/8 by 7 7/8 for your book. Yes, Tiffany did, and it was just gorgeous. Nope. Okay, I can't seem. There we go. Center this. And you know, we haven't really had any good wedding paper till this one and that blue one, but this one is also a gorgeous anniversary. And actually using the papers, some of them you could get by with using it just for a very feminine album. It doesn't have to be wedding. Oh, was it? Oh, Debbie, I'm sorry. Well, then you're kind of brand new. I didn't realize that. Well, I hope we get to have a long, happy life. You know how the glue sometimes is really weird and it flakes off and it's like rubber cement? Yeah. And it's kind of gross. Wow. We have to get it off. Okay, into my book. So when it comes to matting our album, for right now, we're done on this part. We'll do these later for that. The only thing is we will still build these little elements here. And other than that, I won't be referring back to this for a bit. Okay? Because you're going to do the same thing that we're doing, except this part. You're not going to do our dividers. So now I'm just going to start on the dividers. And we'll start up here with this first one that is going to be used for the bride and bridesmaids. So it has four squares. And I am pretty sure this is where I dived into. Yes, this is where you will want to either wait, or if you've purchased your solids, because you get 2 sheets of each in your solid pack. So you're going to want that. So for the bridesmaids, I've used this one, and it is they call it solids number 1. So there's no name, just solids number 1. And we want to cut a 4-inch strip. You sound like me, Donis. I've got a list. So we want to cut it at 4. Now, to fit it in your pocket, you need to cut it at 2 7/8. Well, if your cutter, if you're using one that has the 1/16 of an inch, really tiny here, go to that first notch, which is your 15/16, right? 13, 14, yeah, your 15/16. It's just the mark before the 3. Otherwise, go to your 3 and just back it up a little bit, because your pocket will not fit a full 3-inch. It's going to be too tight. And I want to cut 4 of those. So it needs to be just a hair short of 3 inches wide. And one strip of 4 will get you all 4. And this will be for our bridesmaids. And I just have that left. We can throw that away. And I put, so I always work on my plastic sleeves with the 49 and mark it at the bottom, or the doodlebug, so that I know it's the right way. And so that's in my left-hand corner. And I just went light, dark, light, dark. It's pretty tight. I'm sure it has to do with the paper being pretty thick. And then we can put their photos. We'll put the little enamel dots, and then that one is finished. And our next one is for the groom. And for him, I want this piece. And then we are going to use, let me see, did I use, yes, I did. So our next color is sheet number 3. And I will cut my 4-inch length. And then we'll cut 3 inches. But remember, it needs to be a little short of 3, so it will fit in the pocket, and we only need 2. So I'm going to go ahead and pop these on, or pop these in our pockets. You can make a belly band for it, Donis. Take 2 12-inch pieces of cardstock and about a 2-inch to 4-inch belly band, and that will look nice around your folio. Okay, now this one, I'm looking here at the bottom, so my lettering is going to be correct. Hopefully, we're going to just score this in half at 4. And yeah, I turned it around this way. Yeah, I sure did. One side is going to look upside down when it's on the back, but you know what? It'll be just fine. You don't really notice it. Now on this one, I did want to ink this. Fold it, and I did ink. just love that color with it. It's so perfect without being overbearing, the cashmere. Okay. And it will relax and lay down more. So that will be the Groom's. Put that in the book. There we go. I put it in the book so I don't have a bunch of stuff everywhere. Okay, so the next one, this is the one that will have our piano on it, but we don't, the other one has it, of course, in the book. Make sure, yes, brick through the center, mauve on the back. Oh, that's not mine. No wonder. Okay. You need your 6x8 that goes all the way through. Okay. It's amazing how your book just bulks up once we start decorating it. Okay, our next one is 2 6x4. And I used the one with the brocade. Let's see here. Here it is. And well, I don't know how I managed to do that. I used the brocade one. That is got to be from our 12x12 paper pad because those flowers are so big. So I believe we have enough. If you don't want to get into your 12x12, but you're going to need it if you're using the ring binder anyway. And we're not using this on the other. Oh, and then also, do not throw any of these headers in the garbage because we use those. I think we use quite a few of them. Yeah, see, it is. Yep. So we need to cut from the top. 4 inches. I did it. That is what I used. And then we want to cut it at 6. That is so gorgeous. You know what? I used to be the same way, Kim, but not anymore. It's called, I put my paper in a stack and I just go. No more. I tell myself, that's it. You know how to put paper down. Now stop trying to. And I have these pep talks with myself, and it's like, enough is enough. Cut the paper and get it made. Or you're going to sit here all day long. Yep, that's the conversations I have with myself. Okay, we're going to cut it 4. So that this is at the bottom. And the brocade goes in right there. Okay, so that is all the pieces except this. So let me show you. If you want to create the thing I did, but which I mentioned, it gets too thick. What you need to do, and I don't want to really, you're going to put this in your cutter and you're going to score it at 3/4 of an inch so that you're on the other side of the holes. And then I want you to make your, like the hinge that you're going to connect. So you'll know, see the top, it is a little bit shorter because I connected it here after I scored it and I left the holes on. You can cut them a little bit if you feel you want to, but I just left the holes on and paper on top. So to make this easy, this is the back. And this is my addition, because I know I messed you guys up on the Wonderlust. I don't want to do that again. So with this folded this way, so you guys can see. So when this is open, I want it to be exactly holes to my right, section 1, section 2, then you're going to attach. I would attach this here, or I can use my temporary. Even though I didn't score it, it'll give you the idea with my temp, because then it will overlap. I just won't be able to bend it. Oh, stick. This is some heavy duty. Okay. So when it folds, see, that will bend into itself. So it'll be like this. This is the rings. Okay. And but it's just too thick. So what do we do if you don't want to do that one? Because I want to mat these. We need to mat these. So what I decided to do, even though I love this, but it's too big, I'm going to come over here. And I'm going to leave them just this way, because I'll put the mother of the groom, father of the groom, and then the grandparents. Or mother, father, and the grandparents. So I'll put that one there. I know it's not like super duper pull out, but it's too fat. And I'll put that one there. Okay. And if you don't like that and you want to make the other one, you can also turn it this way, but it goes better this way, I think. So this will be my mother, or the bride side. Whoops. And this will be my groom side. Can you take a couple off? Well, you could, and then what would you do with that? I think I'll still like it, but see, it'll be a little bit shorter. Still pretty cute. You could put it in the very back. This might make a difference because it just made that inside really center pooch. Now see, oh, you know, it'll be cool back there. So actually you could put it right there in the back. See, now my pages don't alligator just in a weird place. So you guys tell me, which would you prefer I did? Do you want me to do it and we'll put it in the back of our book? Or do you want me just to do it the other way and you can see both ways? But you do want to tie because it's going to start flipping everywhere. So I'm just using a yard of the ribbon. And I didn't, there's really nowhere to attach it. That's why it's just here by itself. And then that way you can have the mother, father, all them together. Okay. And they can sit in the back. Still pretty thick. Still pretty thick. Decisions. So we already know how to do it that way. So I'm going to go ahead and try it this way. So if you like it that way, go ahead and put yours, you can put yours together as a zigzag. I'm going to try it this other way. And we're going to see what happens. Okay, this piece we just cut in half, that's going to be on my front cover, but these guys are 6 1/4. And to make it look symmetrical, you need to cut 1/8 of an inch off so that they are 3 7/8 by 6. And then, see, I'm going to just basically use up the rest of my sheets. We're going to cut them all at 3 7/8. And I need to show you. Okay, I will show you how I made it. Remember, I will show you how I made it for the book. No, I already did show you how I made those in the book. So we put it in the front and the back. That's right. I did show you. So again, we're going to just cut this one at 3 7/8. And again at 3 7/8. Because we used the green. Okay. Then we've got, where's my bricks? So I put the bricks in the center. Don't seem to have a brick left. I don't know why I don't have a brick left. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4. We need 8. 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, there's the brick. I'm looking right at it. Again, 3 7/8. 3 7/8. And then I cut this next one. Let's see, 1, 6, 7, and one more of these so that it is the flower side for the mother of the bride. So we still have a few pieces and parts left. So this one with the brocade first will be mother of the bride. And then we need the brocade side for the father of the bride. Oh, goodness, Wilbur. And it doesn't matter, just one of the 2 that we cut apart. And that's, on that one I'd put mother of the groom. but that's going to be for grandparents. So I'm actually going to go ahead with I want to save those for the groom. Oh my gosh, you can, Monica, that's Wilbur. And I'm telling you, that boy needs a CPAP. Okay, so my first one, here's my 4. And I'm going to do it. Polka dot, let's just put that on first for Mother of the Bride. Brocade on the back. Yep, he's a snoring. Many a fights have happened at night between my husband and I because he thinks it's me and I think it's him. And it's Wilbur. Okay, so Mother, Father will be the brocade. So it's a little, you'll notice, that's why I cut it 3 7/8. So I could have, it is a quarter of an, more of a quarter of an inch border, but I want it to be symmetrical. So that is why I cut them down to 3 7/8. And then I'll put that one there. That'll probably be the bride's parents or brothers and sisters, whatever, but family member. And then we'll do our photo mats and everything here and just, we won't get to those today, the photo mats. That'll be during the decorating. Oh, great. So then the back side for our brides, let's put on these, to be honest, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to put one of the bricks. Oh, if they snored in unison, I would die. The other two don't snore. He has snored all his life. Now I grabbed some of the skinnier ribbon from the warehouse that we just got in. It's the satiny. And I brought, okay, I just got this in a ton of colors. This one is the blush, and you'll see it online. And I'm just going to do 24 inches. And there's really nothing to attach it. I did want to keep it close. Mostly it's for looks because the ribbon just, it looks nice there. So we'll put that in the book for a moment, and then we'll do what I'm considering the groom side. You always have to burnish those more. So the mother, we'll put her front and center, always on the front page. So when we create the matting, we've already cut our 3x4s, these 3x4s in white. Then we'll cut a 3 1/4 by 4 1/4 of the other cardstock. I like to double mat those. All right. I'm just going to go ahead and get the green. I think I'll do the green for the groom's father. That'll be nice for the grandparents. You know, I don't have any more with me, the Nouveau sponges, and I can tell the difference because the Tim Holtz, see, they shred everywhere. I need to pick up. The Nouveaus don't, or they haven't on me. Not like this. Oh, that was going to be the father. I wasn't paying attention. Well, he'll be green. I mean, it's okay. No, that's the father. It don't matter because they all look good. And let's put the brick on the back. This will go on the groom side. Oh, 24. Now this ribbon's 1/8 of an inch, and you'll see it on the front of the website under new. I believe it still shows up on new. And we have that and the new crinkle satin lines, and they're so pretty for these, for wedding and baby. Okay. So right now, see, I just put everything in. Nothing's in order. And then the last thing we want to do tonight, yeah, they last so much better. Okay, let me go ahead and close this, and I'm going to show you because we want to build these two things, and then we will do the matting. Let's see. Thursday. So we'll be doing our album Thursday and Friday is my goal. Okay. The first thing we're going to do is this little element. So the only difference is if you do it in your album, I did it the opposite direction because you have this hinge. This is free, so I can pull it that way. So you still could turn this around in either book, but I did it on the right-hand side just so that you guys remember. Okay, so that's what we're going to build right now, and we want a 5-inch. Let me get my papers and get my book so I don't tell you, but it is 5 inches by 12. Okay, here's my instructions. There they are. Nope, it's 5 inches by 11. Yeah, that crinkle's so pretty. So it's 5 by 11. I did use a magnet. It's not a tight fit, but it was enough that it will hold it. And the thing is, let me show you the back. I didn't mat the back. because you don't see it, because you're supposed to pull this way, not that way. Anyway, you can mat the back, but see, I just left it. And but it still has to go through the cardstock, the matting to get to the magnet that's back here. So it has to go through quite a few layers, but it does a pretty good job for holding it still. Okay, 11 across the top. And I want you to score it 5.5 and 8 1/4. Again, that's 5 1/2 and 8 1/4. So we're going to just fold that in half. And fold that one in half. So if you're putting it in the ring binder, I put this to the left in my album because you need more of a freedom to pull. And I used one of the small basic gray magnets. Again, if you don't like the look, you can go ahead and mat it. But again, it will take away some more of the holding power. Then, there it is. Well, okay, you can leave my finger. There we go. And that was probably fine, especially if you use the new, it's not new, but what I have. If you put this underneath there, the 3-in-1, because it's going to work really well too. And if you don't like the look of that, you could definitely put a strip of paper over, but you really won't see it. Okay, we want to mat this before we put it down. If we don't, it's really hard to mat. It's not as easy to mat on the book. That's not what we used. So I'm using paper number 3. Five or 4 7/8. So I'm just going to cut this whole strip at 4 7/8. There's the side, and then we want a 5 3/8. And then these little guys should be 2 3/4. So 2 that are 2 5/8. And I used the light side. The rest we will decorate and mat on the book. It's not a problem at all. So you're going to put this down in whichever book you made. We are going to place this down. See, it's shedding all over. And this is a new one, but 49 and Market does tear it up somewhat. But still, the Nouveaux do better. Or how, I hope I'm saying that right. Thursday, we will start by cutting all of our pattern paper mats that our white photo mats go onto, so that we have those completely ready for when we do all the decorating on our pages. And then we'll start decorating our pages, and hopefully we'll get that pretty much done. And Friday we'll do the cover inside and out. And if we don't, then I'll just finish up on Saturday morning, and we can go on to our next project. Okay, but we won't do anything else. Like I said, if you're putting it in your binder, I did it to the left. If you're in your handmade, I pull it open to the right. I wanted more room, and you need it in your album because you have the hinge there. Okay, and what I did, this is down low right now, but you'll see this comes up to here when we're done. So this sits over the top a little bit. You don't have these rings in the way. See what I mean? They're at the top, so you just pull this right over it. Now, so that you can get the love on there, I have love up in the corner, so I'm going to tell you, you want to put it 1 1/2, well, 1 5/8 of an inch from the top of the page. You want it to sit at 1 5/8. So I'm just going to make a mark here, or you won't have room for the chipboard word love. Just somewhat center that. See, already it's not quite as sticking to the magnet, but that's okay. We just need it to hold it down. Once we get all the other weighted items on top, it will hold it down there too. Okay, and that will be our She Said Yes. And then we want to build for the bride and the groom those little pop-up elements. And I do have a magnet in there. Okay, so we're gonna make this, and for matting on the bride, is the other part of this, and there should be enough. Okay, for that one you want, so we're just going to cut 2. You'll need 2 because we're doing 2. The book. We want 2 that are 5 by 5 1/8. So we're gonna kind of do them together, both of them, the 5 1/8 or 5 5/8 by 5. Whoops, is this not the right piece? That's the right piece. This is my scraps, and so I didn't want to lose them. So 2 5 by 5 5/8. Then you want 2 5 1/2 by 11. 2 of those, and I'm going to do both of them at the same time. So our 5 1/2 by 11 in your scoreboard at 11. We're going to score those at 1 inch, 2 1/4, 4 1/4, 5 1/2. We're going to repeat on the second piece with 11 inches across the top at 1 inch, all the way down, 2 1/4, 4 1/4, 5 1/2. Okay, our 5 by 5 5/8. The thing to remember is it's 5/8 across. It's going to be on the top. So I'm looking down at it. It needs to be 5 inches across, and it's 5 5/8 long. So with the 5 5/8 across the top of your scoreboard, score at 3/8 of an inch. I know it's little. I come down here. I'm going to score on the right hand side. It's 5/8 of an inch, but it's 3/8 of an inch. 3/8 of an inch and 1 5/8. Okay. So 3/8, 1 5/8. Just since these are in my hand, I will burnish that 3/8 of an inch. So that will look like that. And one will be the pink and one will be the green. Okay. I just fold it in the half first to make sure it's straight. And we'll just burnish all these score lines. Okay, let me show you. It is easier to mat some of this, but we also have a magnet we need to place. Stay. Okay. So I put it differently. In this one. And again, your magnets, I put it up there. Your magnet's not really there to super hold it, but it's enough to hold it so it stays nice. Okay. Trying to think if we should mat first because let's mat first. So I just want to make this the easiest for you guys. See, this is how our box is going to become. Now your piece here, it does not come all the way to the bottom. So you have to be the one that kind of forms your little bench here. So once you put this together, this is what I want you to do. You don't have to use a magnet, just so you know. It will lay okay, but I think this is just going to lay better. I put a magnet I'm going to have on the top, in here on the top, and on this front piece, because we don't mat this inside and we don't mat this top, so the magnet is going to grab. And if you want, one thing you can do to get the feel of it, you can just take a paper clip, or if you like to use your clothespins, and just hold it, because it needs to be kind of square. But it's really easy to put together. The main thing is you want to look and see. So on the inside here on the top, and then on the back side of here, I'm going to put my magnet. So now when it closes, see, it will pinch it shut. It's just enough to pinch it shut in there. So here in the middle, again, if you don't have to use the magnet if you don't want to. I just want it to at least fall flat. And the nice thing is we don't mat. So these magnets don't have any cardstock on top of it. But you want to put these down first. Here's our first score. Now in the middle of the second one, so just let those two grab, because we don't want to glue this together yet. And I'm gonna go back and kind of form this so it looks, put it flat so it looks square. Actually, it'll fold in half just fine where it belongs. Okay. And now those two have attached. Or you can do that. It's probably easier to show you. Now, I am going to mat, and we will still have to do, we'll put a matting under here. Let me show you. So I do put a matting after we get this down to cover these guys, okay? So this piece, we're going to go ahead and cut our matting. We're going to get this all the matting all done, and it's 5 3/8 by 5 3/8 out of the pink, or out of number 1. We're going to use that. So when I was making the book, this is the first thing. I didn't make anything else in this book but this, because when I saw that bridal vanity, and I saw, oh, maybe it needs to be a little bit shorter. When I saw the bridal vanity, I was like, yep, that's what this needs. It needs the pink. It needs What on earth did I cut that? Oh, 5 5/8. It needed the pink. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and match this piece, the bottom piece, and what's going to become our top piece. And they are still the 5 3/8. So we've got our length, but we need one. No, we need two that are 1 1/8 and 1 7/8. Make sure that's 5 3/8. Yes. And my 1 1/8, and I think I can get 2. Yep, you can get 2 from that little piece. And then 1 7/8 by 5 3/8. Actually, we need 2 of these because we need to cover that hinge piece so we don't see it. So let me cut a 4 7/8 first and see. Yeah, cut 4 7/8 first. Set that aside because we're going to use that for the top. And then 1 7/8. No, 5 3/8 again. And if it's not a full 1 7/8, but it should be, nope, it's not. It's fine. Because we've already matted all the way down. We just want to cover that hinge piece. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. Our magnet is on, so it caught. And that's just fine. We're going to ink our little pieces up here. And one more. So the shorter one will go on the inside. Oh, right here. Don't worry about this piece because we're gluing it down. You don't want to have your matting on there. Okay, we'll turn that over. And our 1 7/8. We're almost done for the night. I know it went a little bit longer, but we're doing 2 albums, so just takes a little extra time. And 1 7/8. Now we may be able to go live tomorrow. I'll have to see. I have to see if our designers, we might be all meeting because we have our June season of creativity kits going out. I'll announce it though if I can go live tomorrow. We'll see. So this is the piece that we did not ink. I mean, we did not matte. And that's what we're going to add our adhesive to. Because our magnet has grabbed, or you're just going to fold it in half if you're not using a magnet. Now, just kind of bend it so it goes flat. So you do have to put your finger there. There we go. Okay, now you've got your magnets in there. Now you see that white? Yeah, you don't want that. So we are going to slide this piece in up towards the top to cover that hinge. Just line up your matting on the sides. It's not, mine's not quite the length, but it doesn't have to be because it's all solid color. Okay, we're almost there. Now we want to take just one of these little guys. Again, it's 5 inches by almost 4. How come this one's not 4? Oh, it is. They're the same. So we already cut this at 4 7/8. Okay, we only need one, of course. One's for the groom. Okay, and then 3 7/8. And then we need our 1 7/8 of an inch piece from the last bit. And look at that. We used up every bit of it. Oh, how about we measure? That's not 1 7/8. That one is our 1 1/8. Sorry. So let's just trim that to 1 1/8. See, it's shedding all over the place. Okay. All right, let's take this guy. This middle section, leave the bottom alone there. We're going to add that. I want you just to fold that completely in half, okay? Just fold this in half. We're going to add glue here. We're going to put this down here. And I brought it up about 1/8 of an inch so you can see some of the matting. And from that corner up to there, so I just put my finger back. We're going to add adhesive here. And along this piece. Everything's nice and flat. Fold that behind. Once you get that centered, put your hand there. Okay, if you're using especially the wet glue. Our edges. And there it is. Now let's go ahead and grab our album. And you're going to want this page. It has, there's this one and then this one. Okay. Then we're just going to center this, and I'll tell you how far from the top, because her dressing room curtains, see how they attach, I mean, they extend over the top. So you want this to be, again, well, this one's going to be 1.5 inches from the top of everything. And it really is, you know me, I'm not a measurer, but it's best, because if you don't, and your little dressing room thing extends over and then it gets bent up and broke, you know what I say, you won't be happy. And we want to be happy. And down goes our adhesive. Now, you could mat this all, okay? But you're going to have some white spots showing. So it is better to mat it all before you put it down. Gently push it down. Now, especially if you're doing it with the album, you want them to match, because we have it left and right. Okay, let's make the next one, and then and we'll put it down, and that's where I'll leave you tonight. I know it's run a little bit long, but that's okay. We've gotten pretty far. So we're going to repeat, and we're going to use the darker side of paper number 2, or you can use whichever you. I'm going to grab my magnet again. Okay, so once again, it goes here and there. I should have just grabbed 2 out. Oops, that's not the magnet. Not this one, the second one. Now we'll just fold that in half. Oh, now we're going to get the zoomies. Five and 3/8 by 5 3/8, just making sure everything is still the same. by 5 3/8, and then we're going to cut 2 1 7/8, and 2 1 1/8. And then let's go ahead. I keep those because they're great filler spots. Let's go ahead and now cut our 4 7/8 by 3 7/8. And then 1 1/8. We are going to use this for a photo mat. So we'll have that, you know, for our double layer photo mat there. So that does get used. Okay. We'll ink everything. And then we get to start the fun decorating. Was that one? Yes. Now that we've got these guys down. Oh, a big one. Doesn't look like there's ever anything on there, but there is. And it comes out darker. I really like the Catherine Pooler inks. They're nice. Okay, let's grab our big piece. So this is a piece too. If you were using needed a different color for the wedding, this would be a great place to put that accent color. Blew off my fingers. Whoops. Well, hello, Miss Sandy. We're actually almost done for the night. We're going to finish our groom, and we've been going, I know, 2.5 hours, but that's why I started early, because I knew that would probably be the case. Just let that magnet grab hold. Oh, it's not grabbing hold because I don't want it. It's not folded correctly. You know, I get worried about going, because I'm live, I will get worried about going too long, but then I remember that, you know, I put this in the wrong place. Did I put that in the wrong place? I remember that videos sometimes go longer. No, I didn't put it in the wrong place. Well, that wasn't very intelligent. There we go. Okay. Let's go ahead and glue this. No, we're going to. It's always a little off, making sure. Okay, go ahead and fold it in half. See, it doesn't really want to, it wants to try and fold, but it won't fit. So make sure you fold it on this last one. There we go. And lay it down. If you have a magnet there, kind of bulky. Yeah, and then I worry, but hey, the nice thing is you will have a recording here soon of this. Okay, very, very gently. Oh, it's down. Okay, now we can slide this guy in. Yeah, he's off just a little bit. It's okay. That's better. Well, the nice thing is I'll have that frame. I kind of boogered it up there, but the frame will hide that. Make sure everything's down. Okay. Let's go ahead and put the matting on this one. See, it goes quicker the second time. Once you get the hang of making it, it's really simple. It's just folding it in the correct place. Oh, Lordy, that dog. Okay, same thing, fold in half. Centering it left to right. Then I just put my finger back there so I know where the glue goes. Okay, hold everything down at once. Once you have that straight, there we go. My matting's off a little, but my frame will cover it, so. You guys get ready. Oh, he kicked them out of the backyard. Never mind. They're going in their kennel. I thought they were going to come running downstairs. Okay. Magnet. Perfect. Ah. Whoops. Let's go ahead and close her back up. Burnish it a lot. There we go. Okay. Grab our book. Same thing. Now this is where you're going to want to kind of make them even. So I did, it was flatter at the time. I didn't have all these, I didn't have this here. I was able to lay my ruler down and kind of keep them straight. So that's the homemade book. This one, once again, we want 1.5 inches from the top of the actual page because we don't want our frame to hang over. And I'm being a little more generous with my glue. I guess I could have taken it out. Okay. Close that up. And we'll be all ready for Thursday. Our groom's done, and she said Jess is done. Okay, we're doing really good. Now, the only thing that you might want to go ahead and do beforehand, and you guys saw how, you've seen how I sort things. So you might want to get some sorting trays and go ahead and sort if you're making this live with me. If not, because it'll take a while, and I hate to do that, but have you guys seen how I've sorted? So either your puzzle trays, I use those too, but you'll want to grab, I'll just do a little bit with you so that you can be getting yours ready. Because the only thing I don't sort is the punch out embellishments. Because we're going to be, I mean, if you have these already, trust me, it's just so much quicker. I dump one into one main tray, and it's up to you if you want to keep this. It is nice packaging, but I found I didn't use it. I used one basic, and so I'm going to pull out all of my strips, and then when you do your ephemera, go ahead and sort that also. So I like to sort like things with light things, and then I put these in with those guys, and then I'll have another tray for my cursive letters. Trust me, it's going to cut down your work time if you go ahead and get these ready. These trays, love them. They are so, you can buy big packages, Amazon, Home Depot, not Home Depot. I punch things out too. What's it called? Costco or Sam's, or you can get them online. You can get smaller packages, I think, at Walmart if you go there. I don't, because I don't want to go to the store. Trust me, I am not a shopper. My husband does not complain. If I have to go shopping, I argue. I really don't. I've never. Our cursives. Now, you're going to have some really cute little things. Little hearts. Just pop those in there with my cursive letters, block letters, and all your little hearts. You'll have these little hearts and little buttons that are really cute. Oh, I do. You're going to need the I do. But do you see how much quicker? This really doesn't take much time, except for the first time you open a package. Now I'm on my third, because you're going to sit there and ooh and ah. You're going to love everything in there. Cool. Then I just stack them. Those will be ready. Now I'm going to go ahead before we start. And the tutorial is for sure on Thursday. I'll let you know this sooner. I will have these sorted also. I did keep this packaging. What for, I don't know, but it's really pretty inside. But do sort out your frames and sort out all your pieces. We'll start right on with our frames Thursday. And we'll get our matting pieces in there that were 3.5 by 3.5. So we'll get those all behind our frames. And that will help kind of make things go by a little faster for you. Okay? And then we'll be done with our album by the end of this week. Okay, but we do, you know, to be honest with you, do you have to cover the outside? Probably not. With the other, I'm going to, because I just think it looks better. So if you are going to do the outside, you're going to want your 12 by 12 cardstock. And you'll need, make sure you get 2 of each of your solids, because you need them, and we'll cover the outside. Okay, I'll let you know if I can go live tomorrow night. I don't know yet. And if I can, then we'll go ahead and go live tomorrow night. If not, I'll see you for sure Thursday, and I'll see you on Friday, and we'll get her all done. Good night, everybody. I lost my mouse. And now it doesn't want to work. Good night.